Hey guys, this is Matt with Matt Fixes Things. Today we're doing a tutorial video on how to change the IAC, which is the idle air control valve, on an 07 Electra Glide. This video should work for any touring model that has the 96-inch twin cam motor. And the problems that I've been having with the bike are some popping, which is typical with a short exhaust, but it's a little excessive, and I cannot maintain idle once the engine warms up. So in order to do this, we've already removed the tour pack, and then we'll get into the tools that we need to finish the rest of the process. The tools that we'll be using today to swap out that IAC is a flathead, Phillips. This is to take off the tank. This is to remove your fuel line from one side of the tank to the other. 2 9/16 wrenches for the engine mount, stabilizer, whatever you may call it. Need a pick to retrieve O-rings, 3/8 ratchet with extension, 1/2-inch socket, and a 5/32 Allen. Then we'll need 1/4-inch drive ratchet, several extensions, a swivel bit, and a T20 on your 1/4-inch ratchet. The unit itself to swap, I recommend some carbon throttle body cleaner so we can get a good cleaning when we take it apart. Dielectric grease for reassembly so that we can prevent shorts and ensure waterproof connections. And of course, always we have these shop towels to keep everything nice and clean. All right, the beginning portion of this is pretty standard. We just need to remove the seat and the dash. I did put the bike on a jack just to keep it nice and level for the process. Start with the Phillips head. Move your bolt for your seat, set aside. This bike has a heated seat, so before totally removing it, you need to make sure that you remove that electrical connection. If you don't have one, you can skip that part. And it's that easy, the seat's off. The next part would be removing the dash itself, which starts with the Phillips as well. And then you're going to need, at least for this bike, it's the 5/32. 532. Underneath this, which is unlocked, remove the gas cap, and then these two bolts here. Be sure not to drop any bolts inside. Once you have those bolts removed on the back and the two in the front, a little bit of pressure, pop this grommet out, and that comes off like so. I'm gonna throw a blanket over this to prevent any shorting, and we can lay this down. While we're on this side, before we move over, we might as well remove this bolt right here on the back of the gas tank, because we will be removing the tank itself in order to get to that faulty unit. Set this aside somewhere where you don't lose it. So unfortunately, I did fill up recently, not thinking that I was going to be ready for this repair. And whoever had this bike before me decided to put this hose all the way around the frame. So we're gonna go ahead and drain the gas tank. And when I reinstall this, I'll be cutting this hose to the proper length. Now that the tank is empty, we'll need to remove this connection here. Carefully, don't break anything. Move this vent hose for your tank. And then we will be removing the fuel line from the bottom of the tank. All right, our next step will be removing this gas line. Start by removing the spark plug wire. And on this model, you just simply push up and pull down on that, and that releases it. Okay, last step to removing this gas tank is taking these 2 1/2-inch bolts, one on either side off. Just simply doing the same thing on the other side. Process repeated. But we should be able to remove this tank. Okay, now that the tank is removed, we got some pretty clear access to the unit that we need to remove right here. And it looks like I need to remove this mount in order to get access to this bolt back here, which is a 9/16. Need a single wrench for this side. Looks like in order to move the other side, you need 2 9/16. A little bit of help and it comes right out. Then we need to remove this electrical connection on top. Comes out nice and easy. All right, now that the electrical connection is removed, we need to take this bolt and this bolt, which are T20s, out. I just had to get a 1/4-inch ratchet with a swivel, and I put a T20 into a 1/4-inch bit. You could sneak that down. Take your time, nice and easy. You don't want to strip these out. It's nice and straight. And it actually came out pretty easy. A little tedious, but just take your time, like I said. Make sure you got a straight attack on that bolt so you don't strip it. Work that off. Snake the unit out. You want to make sure we remove this old O-ring. If it did not come out, do not lose it down in there. You can see this one's pretty nasty. The other unit is gummed up pretty bad too, so we can give this a little spray. Wipe it good. You have to work this back and forth until you can get this to finally seat. Work it down in. And then this bracket has a little pin that needs to line up. And you can go ahead and seat your bolts back in. That bracket was a little tricky getting it back on, but you just have to work it. But just keep at it. I know you can do it. I like to go back and forth and tighten down one side then the other, so especially when you're seating a O-ring like that. These weren't very tight, just more of an annoying angle. So I'm just gonna snug them up good. this installed. Apply some dielectric grease. And replace the electrical connection. Like so. And then I'll put the motor mount back in. You can reinstall the motor mount. Which again, these are all 9/16. Now that the tank's back on, go ahead and get 3 bolts in that hold the tank in place. Same thing on the other side of the bike. Next thing is to replace this hose that runs from one side of the tank to the other. Last guy had to go all the way around. I'm going to cut the ends off. Secure it. Cut it to length on the other side. Have it run in the proper position. Okay, my next step is going to be to reinstall this fuel line. I'm going to clean it up a little. A little bit of carbon choke cleaner and these rags work wonders. Push up, snap it in, tug down, make sure it's in place, and that's done. Go ahead and get our spark plug wire back on. We can reinstall electrical connection at the top of the tank. Again, using a little bit of dielectric grease. The dash back on. You have the 2 up front we need to put back in. Work that back and forth till it gets under the lip. Reinstall the seat. For me, if I want my heated seats to work, I'll need to plug this unit back in. Already has fresh grease in there. Now that the bike is reassembled, I went ahead and filled the fuel tank. And now we're going to cycle the ignition a couple times to prime the fuel system. Make sure it's on run. Key your ignition on. You'll hear it prime. Key it off. Wait a few seconds. Key it on. You can hear it prime. I'm going to do this 3 times. Left is to go for a ride, and I'll let you guys know how it went. After changing the IAC, we took it for a test drive, and the repair worked. It was very easy, actually, and I put it off for a long time, and really I can say that it's not that hard, and you guys should go for it. Easy fix. I hope the video helps some of you guys out there, and if you did like it and enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thank you.